Everyone, Jules here. Today I'd like to talk about 3 tarot books, and the first one is Jung and Tarot, an Archetypal Journey by Sallie Nichols. And this book is quite a classic in this genre of tarot and psychology. And this is a really helpful book for people who work with the Marseille Tarot, because this book looks at the major arcana of the Marseille Tarot from a symbolic perspective and a Jungian perspective. But it's quite an interesting book because it mentions a lot of cultural perspectives and a lot of other symbolic perspectives as well. So this book is very useful for people who want to find out more about a Jungian approach to tarot. And at the back of the book it has a tarot spread that works with the major arcana, the court cards and the 4 aces. So that's quite an unusual spread. But it's very interesting the way it looks at each of the major arcana cards. And it's worthwhile for people who want to look at tarot from a Jungian symbolic perspective working with the Marseille, because there aren't very many cards or books in regard to the Marseille that approach it in this way. Usually the Marseille books are more traditional. So that's Jung and Tarot by Sallie Nichols. It's published by Weiser. The next book looks at tarot from a Jungian perspective as well, but it uses the Waite deck, the Waite-Smith deck. This is The Way of the Tarot by Hamaker-Zondag. And Hamaker-Zondag is a Dutch astrologer who also works with tarot. And there is a chapter in this book in regard to tarot and astrology, which is very interesting and worthwhile to read, because there aren't many astrologers who also work with tarot. So that in itself is worthwhile. The book talks about all of the cards of the tarot, of the Waite-Smith deck. There are some spreads in the back of the book. And again, this is a really useful book who want a more psychological approach to tarot. So I wanted to recommend this book. It's still available now. It has a slightly different title, but it is still available. So that's really worthwhile for people who want to work with tarot in a more psychological or tarot therapy perspective. So that's The Way of the Tarot by Hamaker-Zondag. And the last book is kind of related to the other two, even though the title doesn't seem to be the case. It's called Intuitive Tarot by Richard Prosapio. And this book works with the Greer deck, but it doesn't have to be looked at in that way. This would work with any Waite-Smith tarot deck. And it's very useful because it can be used as a journal book, and it has some spreads in here as well. And what happens with each of the cards, there is a picture of each of the cards, and there is a small paragraph of meaning for each of the cards. And then there is plenty of space on each page to write your own intuitive meanings or associations. So it's really useful in that way. So this could be used as a tarot journal, and I have used this book in this way. This is the current version. I've got the previous version of this as well. And it's really useful for people who are learning the tarot, because you could write some of your own meanings for each of the cards in here. Or you could use it as a tarot therapy journal, or a journal of psychological insights for the cards. So it's really useful in that way as well. And I have put this book along with the other two books that are from a psychological or tarot therapy and Jungian approach to the cards, because a journal is really useful to have for the different insights that you would be getting with the cards when you work with them in that way. So this book is really worthwhile getting, Intuitive Tarot by Richard Prosapio. And I'll put the details below the video, as I usually do. And I hope these books will be useful to people who are thinking of working with tarot from a psychological or a tarot therapy perspective. I'm thinking of working with these books again, because I have not done that for quite a while, and I think this approach is really useful as well. And I wanted to let people know about the books in case they were curious about which books I quite like from a tarot psychology or Jungian tarot perspective. So thanks for watching. Bye for now.